cold snaps, fog and Florida cold. We hate the talk, but start that way. Small world before big trees fall down. What the fuck is going on here? We may not know, but still we cheer. Raise your eyes, your glass, your brow, because the talk is happening now. We scroll the news before we think. Take a piece before the facts. No one asked the first real why here. Outrage beats the quiet mind. Now they swear gravity shuts off soon. On August 12th it all shuts down. NASA lied, aliens agree. Buy the pills that make you safe now.
Good morning, America. How are you? I'm Rabbi Dave, and I have a firm grip upon my hat. Hold on to yours.
And I am Friar Rod, and I don't make a habit of this, or I do. I just don't have a hat on right
I technically don't either if you're watching the video, but the only reason I don't is because it doesn't fit over the head.
now. That would look really fun. It looks
does
really
look
funny.
really absurd. I guess what I could do is is there a hat in the filters? Let me see real quick. This is all stuff we should have done beforehand.
Oh,
But there we go. And it even looks
Here.
like a rabbi hat. So
hold on.
I'm firmly
I've got to do something. Where do I find the filters?
fully gripping my hat because today is one of those days where you just want to hold on to your hat. It is a cold day, depending on where you are, I suppose. I don't know if it's cold in Florida. Cold in Florida is one of those relative things. In 2005, I took a vacation in February. Back when I worked for the Salvation Army, February was my vacation time. And I would go places, and I went to Florida in 2005 because I wanted to see the Space Center and visit friends and stuff like that. And I get down there, and people are apologizing to me everywhere I go, Rod, apologizing to me because the cold snap. It's really cold. It was 68 frickin' degrees.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, whatever. But much of the country today is buried in a cold snap. My sister is in Oklahoma. She keeps sending me all kinds of memes and reports. And I guess they got about 4 inches of snow. And there's all kinds of memes about how people are dealing with the cold and what's going on.
I just got an update from my family in Georgia, so they sent me some pictures, and they said the worst of it's coming through tonight. So,
And how is it down there?
it looks cold.
I used to live in Florida, or in Georgia, of course, and in my entire decade there, it snowed twice. I guess it snowed twice.
It's snowed a couple times since they've been there in the last 5 years, but
I was in Atlanta for the blizzard of 93, and, it kind of shut down Atlanta for a day or two. But the surprising thing about me living in Georgia was we had a hurricane roll through, Hurricane Opal, and it was actually still a hurricane when it hit Atlanta, and I slept through the whole damn thing. I never even stirred. Okay, that's fine with me. But it got me to wondering, Rod, why do we talk about the weather? Why are we starting this show talking about how the weather? I mean, here it's typical. It's typical January, late January. It's 28 degrees, and we have a severe weather advisory.
Yeah.
Going to get up to 39 today. 41, sorry. But at least it's clear out. Oh, it's going to cloud over by the end of the day.
Yeah, well, we're in the middle of that time of year in the Central Valley when it's just fogged in, and so you don't see the sun for weeks because the fog never leaves. It doesn't burn off.
Now, it was weird because when I first moved to California, that happened a lot. And then it just suddenly seemed to stop.
It did.
And now it's back, you're telling.
It's back again, although they're saying now, even though we had a ton of rain, early on in the season, we haven't had any, and it's looking to be dry. So they're concerned now that we're going to be heading more towards a drought.
Of course you are. It's California.
Yeah.
So it raises the question, why then do we talk about the weather? What is it about this small talk that intrigues us so much?
I think it is because it's a commonality. It's something that we all have a relative knowledge of, right? In your general area, how's it going? Because when you talk to people, when I talk to salespeople across the nation, hey, how's it going over there? What's the temp? It's just something common to talk about.
And yet, survey after survey shows that we despise the small talk about the weather. There are people out there right now who are reacting to this discussion right now with, are they ever going to get to the frickin' point? And they may be even scrolling through. And if you're like me and when you listen to the podcast, I listen at 1.3 anyway. So it's kind of like, let's get through this. Get to the fucking point kind of approach. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of approach to it.
They want our explicit rating?
Yeah, well, if you're not used to that by now, too bad. But the question becomes, even in our general conversations, we hate this. And yet, we do it. And there was a fascinating study done some years ago. I know you're saying, what's the point? Stay with me. We'll get there. There was a study done that said that people hate small talk. They hate it. To the point where half the time when we don't talk to each other, it's because we just don't want the small. I hate going with my wife. I don't hate going with my wife. I hate going with my wife to a certain coffee place that I won't name, but it rhymes with Dutch Bros.
Okay.
Because they won't shut up.
Well, so yeah, that's kind of like the bottoms up bikini coffee places that we have in the Modesto area.
I know nothing.
They love the small talk.
Yeah, I know nothing about those.
And I have no problems with that small talk.
Yeah, I don't think I would there either, but you don't get quite the same thing at Dutch Bros, which I don't like because it's not really, it's not a coffee place.
Yeah.
It's a dessert place, which is fine if you want dessert, but when I want coffee, there's two things I want. One is coffee, and two is no conversation. And these people will not shut up.
And this is a shirt that says introvert.
I'm not an introvert. I just don't like talking to people. That's all. So there's this study.
Kitty.
It was done in the early 2000s. Nice pussy.
I knew that was coming.
There was a study done in the early 2000s that showed that people hated that. But when they tried to repeat the study in the last couple of years,
mm-hmm.
What they've discovered is that people all of a sudden, with the exception of myself, I guess, are not so anti-small talk anymore. And they're trying to figure out what happened, what changed, why is it now people don't seem to mind that when before we hated it, and for the record, I still do. Which makes sense if you think about it, because I'm something of a dinosaur. I have very short arms. I'm a tyrannosaur. I'm something of an old-fashioned kind of guy. But even in the old days, there was always that discomfort, when you meet somebody and you got that small talk thing going. That I just...
What I hated, though, I'd go into church, and there's maybe some people that listen from church or not, I don't know, is that when you go and you try to do the small talk thing, hey man, how you doing? And you actually get a true answer to that. And they start going on and listing off what's going on wrong in their life. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pray for you on that one. But in my mind, I'm saying, I really didn't need to know that.
People would call radio shows. This is for all you people that call radio shows. Stop asking, how are you doing? Number one, nobody cares. Number two, it's just fluff. And I would ask people would call, hey, Dave, how you doing? I'd say, do you really care, or is this just social fluff? I would say that on the air.
Yeah.
And they would say, well, I really care. And I'd put them on hold and say, okay, here's everything that's wrong with me right now. And I would spend 2 minutes listing it up, and John would be throwing things at the window, and so they learned to say, oh, it's just social fluff. Okay, well then don't say that, because you don't need it. Something changed in us. What changed in people from the early 2000s to now that makes small talk not just acceptable, but almost de rigueur?
I have changes in social media habits, maybe.
So, yes, that's the theory now, is that social media has so screwed up our heads that our attention levels are so screwed up, they're so shrunken, that it's almost all we can handle, that we can't actually handle a deeper conversation anymore. Now, let's look at what's happening in the world right now. See, I told you we'd get to it.
Yeah.
Bill was talking this week about watching TV. And I guess or a movie. And he was watching a show called The Rip, which I've never heard of.
It's new. It's relatively new.
Yeah. But then again, I'm the same guy that's still watching Star Trek, the original series, and texting about it on a pretty regular basis. So,
yes. Yes, you are.
Bill mentioned the fact that, hey, there's still lessons to be learned in Star Trek. How to deal with socialism was one of the greatest episodes of Star Trek.
Bill said that?
I said that yesterday. Weren't you paying attention?
You did, but you started the sentence with, well, Bill said this. Hey.
Yeah, well, Bill was talking about the show, The Rip, and he says as he's watching it that he keeps getting, quote unquote, interrupted. And this isn't really fair because Bill's not here to defend himself, but he keeps talking about, things.
He should be here.
He should
be here.
But he's not. Because, anyway. So,
technology.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, work release and all that. Anyway, the point is that he's talking about the show, watching the show, and the fact that he keeps getting interrupted at phone calls, or he's doing show prep, or the grandkids come over. And so it takes him far longer than the actual movie lasts to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie stars, is it Matt Damon? Who's it? Or is it the other guy?
It is Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
One of these two guys is all over the news complaining last week because the Netflix scripts that they use now, Netflix actually has this as a requirement in their scripts, that every 10, 15 minutes, you have to reset the show. You have to re-explain the plot to people because they're not paying attention and they may have missed something. And the reason they're not paying attention is because of these goddamn phones. And to a lesser degree, I think I do this too. I mean, even watching a 50-year-old episode of Star Trek the other day, I'm scrolling on IMDb going, who is that person? What else were they in?
Are they still alive?
Yeah. So our attention span has been shrunken to the point where people who are writing scripts now actually take the time to reset the plot because they know you're not going to be paying attention, which makes it repeat itself over and over again, which is the ultimate small talk. And we've been conditioned now that this is okay, so we might as well go along with it. And because that's how our entertainment is, we follow along in our natural lives. And I used to think, well, that can't be true. And then I got into talk radio, where one of the things I was told over and over again was, you have to reset the topic every break. So if topic that you're talking about in an hour is, I don't know, Minneapolis, every time you take a break, when you come back, you have to reset the topic. You got to explain to people what they're talking about because they've listened to, they've tuned out during commercials or whatever, and maybe they're just joining in and they don't know what you're talking about.
Well, and that makes sense because there's been times when I've joined a radio show on my way to work, right? It's in the middle of the hour or whatever, and I don't know what they're talking about. I have no clue.
Yeah, and I get that because I get that from my wife all the time. We'll turn on the radio in the car and we'll listen for 30 seconds and she'll say, well, what is he talking about? Like, how the hell would I know? I just turned it on.
This is why podcasts are so much better.
Exactly. I agree. You should be listening nothing to don't listen to radio, listen to podcasts. I can't believe I just said that. Oh, you can listen to some radio, but the bottom line is, especially on Tuesdays, the bottom line is we've conditioned ourselves to think this way. And I thought to myself, if these guys hadn't come out and told me that, because I don't watch it, I don't even have a Netflix account, but I have started noticing it in everything. All the forms of entertainment that we watch, whether it's the news, these little, we're going to talk about this next time. The show that just drives me up a freaking wall, but we have to watch it. We'll watch it tonight. The Sister Wives show.
Oh.
It is a veritable cornucopia of just repetitiveness over and over and over again. The same thing. Why do we have to keep doing this? Because all these, let's just face it, women who are watching this are scrolling, they're interrupting, they're social media, they're texting about it, they're creating podcasts about this show.
Yeah.
And they're not really paying attention to what's going on in it. They're just...
The entire series of The Curse of Oak Island.
Yeah.
It's the entire series. Yeah.
But it's even starting in sports. It's even starting in sports now, where we have these minute conversations about stupid crap in sports where they've had to explain to you what's happened in the game. Let's do a game recap. They used to do a game recap at the end of the half or the beginning of the half and at the end of the game. Now they do them every freaking commercial break. Here's what you've missed. How even my TV says, do you want to catch up through the big plays or do you just want to join live?
Yeah, well, and today I did that with Newcastle because I got started late. The game was already going, and then I had some computer issues, so I couldn't start watching it immediately. So I went ahead and watched the 16 key plays before it took me back to the live broadcast.
Which you didn't want to see anyway.
Which, by the time the 16 key plays were over, I'm like, I don't even want to see the rest of this game.
I'm not even going to watch this. Yeah. We had a little discussion about that because I was on Kalshi and I saw that game and Vela was coming off at plus 2.3 something or it was really good odds.
Should have taken that for him. Yeah.
Anyway. So if this wasn't enough, Rod, about the way social stuff is affecting us, when we look around what's happening in the country, the lack of attention span and the way it feeds into what's going on. Yesterday is just a stellar example of this. We had another shooting in Minneapolis. And depending on what social media you follow, literally within seconds of this event, you already had your narrative. You already had your posts talking about what happened. You already had Tim Walz on the phone to the President of the United States, allegedly. He says he called the President. I don't know if he did or not. I wasn't there.
Well, he's a liar, so, I mean...
Well, he said he did, and he said that he got in Trump's face on the phone and said, this is ridiculous, this is... Again, it really doesn't matter. The point is that no one has taken any time to think about what has happened. Why it's happening, how it's happening, what's going on here. And I'm wondering now is if this same weather event, this same idea that weather conversations have become the norm in our society, where we just talk about superficial crap.
Well, so here's my thought, Dave, and I know I interrupted you, but the small talk is like an emotional gauge, right? You're doing it to just say, hey, how's it going? It's just to get the feeling, the emotional feeling of, hey, are we comfortable talking? That's one thing. This minute social media thing is about driving emotions. That's what it really is about. It's not about thinking, because thinking takes time.
Knock, knock.
Who dare?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Ooh! It bothers me on a lot of levels, and it has bothered me for a long time because thought has vanished. Critical thought has vanished.
Yeah.
The first question in my mind that anyone should have been asked, anyone, I don't care which side of the argument you're on, doesn't matter to me. The first question you should have been asking yesterday is, why did this guy have a gun at a protest?
Yeah.
And until you have an answer to that question, you can't have the conversation. Why does he have?
If he's protesting ICE, he's there with the gun for some reason because he thinks he's going to be targeted.
He's going to be the
other protesters, right?
What are you going to do with this? Aren't these the same exact people that told us that we couldn't take on the government because they got nuclear weapons and F-15s?
Yeah.
So what are you and your little .30 caliber going to do? There's no thought processes here involved. There's no consideration why a quote-unquote VA nurse, apparently this guy is a Veterans Administration nurse, is at a anti-ICE protest with a firearm. What does he think he's going to do?
And then resisting, right?
And then resisting whatever's going on. And I'm not here to analyze the whole film. I'm sure that radio shows across the country will do that to the nth degree. What I'm here to tell you is that no one is thinking about this. No one is sitting back and going, why is this happening? Why is this happening in Minnesota, of all places? Number one, why is there so much illegal immigrant activity that requires ICE intervention in Minnesota? You ever been to Minnesota?
There's money involved. There has to be.
Well, what are we not talking about right now? It was the biggest story in the country 2 weeks ago until Renee Good stuck her car in places.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking. And now, crickets.
Yeah, this is all we're hearing now.
Crickets. And if you think that this whole protest thing is organic, if you think it's all not about distraction, you're not thinking. And I'm telling you right now, I'll say it, nobody else seems to want to. This is exactly what the people who are in charge of these protests, the people who are causing these protests, wanted. They wanted someone to get shot by ICE again. And this guy apparently stepped up. This is exactly what they wanted. It's completely distracted from the real story out in Minnesota, which should be the real story in Minnesota and here in Washington. The fraud.
And California. California, they're saying is big.
Everywhere else. Hell, this has even pushed Gavin Newsom off the front pages.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I don't know if he should be on the front pages or not, but then again, only Gavin Newsom could make that much of an idiot of himself.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It was really bad. But again, nobody's thinking about this stuff. And because nobody's thinking about all this stuff, we don't notice the color palettes. We don't notice what's being put out in front of us. We see what we want to see, and we just go with it, and we don't recognize the fact that it's been manipulated for social media.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating article this week, Rod, which seemingly has nothing to do with this, but follow me here, about the way I watch movies, and I kind of noticed this, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Do you realize that the color palettes for movies that are made have changed?
Mm-mm.
They have changed from these bright, intense colors and shadows to this flat, overly bright, you don't see any shadows anymore. Everything is kind of this neutral color palette in films. And
is that because they've gone from film to video?
No, it has nothing to do with the media. It has to do, well, I guess it does. It has to do with the streaming. Because social media, streaming, all this kind of stuff, like a film like Casablanca, where you have, or Star Trek, where you have lots of shadows. There's a famous scene in Star Trek where William Shatner called for this. He created a scene where the shadow falls across his eyes. You can't do that in streaming because it doesn't compress right. And when it streams, it doesn't look right. So everything has to be well lit. Everything has to be no shadows at all. Shadows just bog down streaming. And so they're intentionally doing this in film. They're intentionally doing this in architecture. Look at McDonald's from the 80s to today. Today, McDonald's looks like a frickin' prison. Why anybody would go there? It's, even in football, I'm of the opinion that my Broncos have no chance today. None. If Jared Stidham was actually a starting quarterback in the NFL quality, he'd be a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's been there for 7 years. He's not. We have no chance today. And to make sure that we have no chance, I took the odds and bet on the Broncos because I thought, well, at least if they do win, I'll make some money.
You should have been on Villa.
I should have.
To counter that.
But even the NFL, look at the colors of the teams in the NFL now. Yeah. Compared to the 70s or the 60s especially, the AFL in the 60s. They used to call the AFL full color football. Because of the bright colors. It's one of the things I love about my team, the Broncos, is that orange glow to it. I mean, it's got spunk, it's got some standout, it's got some reality to it. But we've been so conditioned to blacks and teals and subdued forest greens, and everything has become flat in our society, in our architecture, in our color palettes. And we just accept it. We don't even question it.
Aren't we supposed to be living in the Blade Runner world right now? I mean, that was all grays and...
Yeah, it's very dystopian in a lot of ways. It's just... But it causes this mindset that we just accept it and we don't think about it. We don't see it. We just accept it in that 30-second, clip on X or whatever, and we move on. Mm-hmm. And we never really talk about things the way we used to talk. We don't analyze film the way we used to. We don't talk about things the way we used to talk about them in architecture. We're not trying to impress anybody, and it's scary to me. And because we don't think about things, we can talk about the weather. Because we don't have to think about the weather. We don't have to think about small talk. We don't have to analyze. We don't have to consider. We don't have to think about the possibility that I might be wrong. Well, it feels cold to me, but it's not.
Yeah.
And if we never have to consider the possibility that we may be wrong, how can we have a conversation? Welcome back. I'm Dave.
I'm Rod.
Don't know if you heard this or not, but you looking forward to August 12th this year?
August 12th. What's August 12th?
Well, it's a date in August. That's not important right now. Okay. I understand you're going to, you've got stuff to look forward to. You're going to Georgia.
I am, yeah.
I have stuff to look forward to. I don't know what it is, but baseball season, I guess. Could be the last baseball season ever, right? That's what they're saying. Because the Dodgers have ruined baseball. Nobody cared.
Right.
The Yankees were doing it. But at any rate, August 12th of this year, I don't know if you knew this or not, at precisely 9:33 Eastern Time, and I'm assuming that would be daylight time, Eastern Daylight Time, August. At precisely 9:33 Eastern Daylight Time, gravity is going to cease to exist for 7 seconds.
Really?
NASA accidentally released a top-secret report about a project that has an $89 billion budget that's going to somehow or another screw up gravity for 7 exact seconds on August 12th, 2006.
I mean, all of the Earth's gravity, or just like certain...
I mean, you can't do it.
That takes a lot of energy to do, so...
Can you get that much energy for 89 billion?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so either, but apparently we're not thinking.
Billion what?
Dollars.
Right?
$89 billion. Somehow the aliens are involved in this. I'm not sure how. Because, and I know this will shock you, I didn't actually read the theory that's involved here. I read the headlines. Did you
send this to us? Did I miss it?
No.
Okay.
I read the headlines and went, why in the world do people believe this shit?
I don't know. How long was Art Bell around?
Okay. But nobody believed Art. I mean, I guess some people did.
He made money off of selling stuff because people
be crazy for money. That's how you make money on radio. That's how you do it. I'm telling you. Act crazy, Candace Owens, and you get money. People are sending her money.
Yeah.
She's in violation of a cease and desist order, a contract, an NDA that she had, that she herself posted saying, yeah, I signed this, and then didn't follow it. And people are still sending her money. Are you people stupid?
BSC?
Or just, I don't get it.
They're candidates for nose piercings.
People are still buying Alex Jones's stuff, his supplements.
Yeah.
Even if I were going to take supplements, even if I thought to myself, yeah, I need something more in my body to make it work better, Alex Jones is not the person I'm going to go to buy that.
Oh, Dave, that's disappointing.
Would you?
No.
I'm not even sure who the person I would go to would be. It's surely not going to be the personal trainers at the Y.
Why?
Have you seen some of these personal trainers?
I don't go to the Y.
There's at least two of them that outweigh me by at least 40%.
Okay,
and
that sends the wrong message then. Yes.
It's a personal trainer T-shirt that's stretched out to the freaking course. I'm like, no. And I'm sure not going to believe them when they tell me that I need supplements. If my doctor tells me, and my doctor has told me to take a couple of supplements,
yeah,
I have to take CoQ10. The reason I take CoQ10 is because I also take Crestor for my cholesterol, which I don't have. But Crestor causes cramps and CoQ10 helps with that. Okay, so I'll take some CoQ10. Check.
Yeah.
I take magnesium because I'm a type 2 diabetic and blah, blah. And these are things that my doctor and I have discussed, which, by the way, I learned this week when I paid my $550 bill to my endocrinologist. 20% of that bill, swear to God, I am not making this up, 20% of that bill was for, I got to get the language here because I don't want to screw this up. Visit complexity inherent to E and M.
E and M.
Visit complexity due to E and M. Evaluation and management. What? So I go in to see my endocrinologist, who I love. My endocrinologist is great. He sees me for 8 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't actually do anything. He looks at the report from my Dexcom.
Mm-hmm.
He says, how are things going? How are you feeling? I say, this is this. He says, okay, we're not going to make any changes.
So it's not complex. How could it be any less complex?
20% of this bill is for visit complexity inherent to E&M, evaluation and management. What usually makes a visit complex, by the way, is multiple conditions discussed.
Oh,
so if your doctor talks about more than one thing, you ever wonder? See, now I know why my doctor was so resistant to talk about my shoulder for all those years.
Yeah.
Because he wants to do one thing, and if he talks about my shoulder, now he's got to make it E&M. Now I got to go back and look at all those bills. chronic illnesses, i.e. type 2 diabetes, medication management. Am I refilling your prescription? A review of prior records, labs, imaging, consulting notes.
Well, so wait. So I expect the doctor to review the history before they come in and meet with me, because they're meeting with I don't know how many people, right? They're not going to remember off the top of their head what's going on.
Well, why
I
would
would
they do
expect
that?
that.
I mean, you just explained it all to the nurse, and now you're going to have to explain it all to him again, right?
Well, I mean, the nurse goes over the medications. So does the nurse talking to me count as that E&M?
I don't know. But I know 20% of that $550 bill, almost $100, was for visit complexity inherent to E&M. I don't even know how I got onto this from NASA's lying to us about taking out the gravity.
Yeah,
because they know it's going to happen. But
this was a rabbit trail.
But at the same time,
maybe the gravity thing will fix this.
It certainly should. It'll certainly make me weightless, right? I'll lose a lot of weight for 7 seconds. But here's the question. How far can you drift in 7 seconds up into the air, presumably? Well, and then when the gravity turns back on, what happens?
I would think it all depends on your momentum, right? As to if you're moving, right? So, hey, I want to know, I don't want to be in the car when this happens.
But you are moving. You're moving at 90,000 kilometers a second or something like that. And if gravity shuts off, you'll stay in motion. An object in motion stays in motion, right?
Well, so will the Earth, too. I mean, everything's going to be moving at the same speed.
Theoretically. So why would NASA spend $89 billion to turn off gravity for 7 seconds? Again, nobody who's promoting this theory is thinking about the actual science of gravity. What would happen if gravity suddenly reversed itself? Would you be prepared?
Well, if it was anti-gravity, then yeah, we would be really screwed, right?
Well, they're just going to turn it off. Like you flip a switch for 7 seconds, there's going to be no gravity. Why do people believe this stuff? It's baffling to me.
You need to start selling anti-gravity straps, right?
Straps, pills, supplements, anti-gravity supplements. Brought to you by the makers of Tolos. You can get yours right here at whatthefrock.org. Get your anti-gravity supplements.
Anti-gravity supplements.
Right. Here, let me fix this for you. Pull this label off. Come on. Not coming off. There we go. Anti-gravity supplements.
Yeah.
1995. Guaranteed.
Now in wintergreen flavor.
Yes. Guaranteed to work. You will not suffer a loss of gravity if you take our special anti-gravity supplement.
So you know you're going to be working on that.
God bless America, people. Stop being so freaking stupid. Welcome back. I'm Dave.
I'm Rod.
Speaking of societal changes, and we were gravitationally impacting societal change.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that manufacturers, people who make this stuff, are sitting on a stockpile worth $22 billion of spirits?
Mm-hmm. I had read that this week, yeah.
Is that insane?
Yeah.
$22 billion. There's about to be a glut on the market of alcoholic spirits, which is actually kind of good news if you think about this.
It is. I will play my part if I can.
But then again, what if they start pulling the De Beers diamond nonsense and convincing you, speaking of societal stupidity, diamonds are one of the cheapest, least rare substances in the universe, let alone on Earth. There
are planets where it rains diamonds.
Yes. And yet some of you people will go out and spend 2 months' salary, 3 months' salary on a diamond. For what? You're wasting your money. And the only reason they're doing that is because they're intentionally shorting the market. They are hoarding the diamonds and just letting out a couple at a time to raise the value. What happens if the alcohol people start doing that?
Well, I think you're going to see the smaller alcohol companies go under. They're going to have to liquidate.
Well, that scares me because Wyoming whiskey is, of course, my favorite.
Yeah. Well, and they could be absorbed into some other larger manufacturing company. But
InBev going to take over the world?
Who knows? But the problem is that with these spirits, right, it takes time to deliver them to market from start to finish. So when it can't respond quickly to market changes, especially downturns.
Right.
So I think we're seeing that. And the same thing for the ramp up. So there'll be scarcity after this.
So what happened here was all of us idiots that stayed at home during the COVID lockdown drank.
Loved our alcohol, yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I was one of them. No complaints here at all. But for some reason, after the post-pandemic started, after the pandemic, quote unquote, ended.
Yeah.
Since it never really started. We quit drinking.
Yeah.
Well, you did. I didn't.
Well, and Gen Z doesn't drink too.
Yes, so this is strange to me. Gen Z does not drink. So the younger generations, the generations that literally keep the clubs in business, they're the people that'll go out and pay $12 for a drink at a dance club, are not doing this now.
Or did you hear the story this week that there was a woman only dance club that was just opening up in some country? They said, hey, we want to make it safe for women and it's going to be only for women. They opened up one night and they closed down the next day because they had 0 alcohol sales. None.
I thought it was going to be because they had all the transgender guys.
No, it's because none of the women bought alcohol.
Which is weird. Women don't drink either?
I think it's more of a male-female social thing.
Could very well be. There are economic factors in here. People have reduced income, and they're looking at it going, should I buy mac and cheese or whiskey? And I guess they're choosing the mac and cheese. And it's cognac that has been severely impacted because the Chinese, the West Taiwanese, apparently love their cognac, and they have just quit drinking because of demand and tariffs. They put a bunch of tariffs on it, and the Chinese people, the West Taiwanese, are not drinking it anymore. There's also, and this kind of bothers me because I am a tequila guy, although I've never been big on these celebrity-backed tequilas.
Why is it tequila, though? I don't get that the celebrities all of a sudden do all this tequila stuff. I don't either.
I didn't understand it. But to me, I know it sounds weird, but I can drink Jose Cuervo. I'm fine. I don't need Ryan Reynolds tequila.
Mm-hmm.
I like 1800. There's Don Julio, which I can't afford, but I don't need some actor's tequila. If I could get some Alkali Sam's, I'd buy that. But there isn't it. So they're predicting that there's going to be price wars over there. Producers are going to have to lower their prices to clear excess inventory, which I am looking forward to. Since I already buy my booze at the package store on base, I'm excited by this. And distilleries, of course, are going to cut production, which, as Rod said, is going to lead to a decline.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they're having to store all this stuff somewhere. I don't know if it's like Iranian oil where they're storing it in tankers off Indonesia somewhere, or where the hell are they storing $22 billion worth?
I expect to see some alcohol ads or something somewhere.
I don't know. Pretty excited about this, though, because I'm feeling like might be a good time to increase my stock. Not that and again, I'm not drinking as much as I used to, but not because I chose to, but because my condition doesn't really allow it.
Because
So
you're E&M, it would be another
Right.
E&M
Right.
thing.
Yes, it would be another discussion. You visit complexity due to E&M. You drinking? There's another $48 added onto the bill. Welcome back. I'm Rabbi Dave.
I am Friar Rod.
So you ready for the NFL today?
I'm not really.
You don't care
I don't care.
because none of your teams are in it.
Well,
Has your team
yeah.
hired a coach yet?
I don't know if they have. I'm not following them anymore because I'm on the verge of leaving the Raiders and finding some. I might go with Atlanta Falcons just because that's kind of where I'm going to end up in the next 5-10 years.
I used to love the Falcons. I was kind of a season ticket holder at one
Really?
point. And the year that I had to give up my tickets was the year I moved to California, which was 1998, which was the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Ooh, ouch.
So, yeah, there's some good stuff with the Falcons.
Well, their home base, their training camp is right near where my daughter lives. So
Right. Flowery Branch.
I drive right by that every time I go there.
It's that's not a bad team to go with. It's certainly not a jump on the Manchester United, Arsenal
No.
fan base. I mean,
Well,
if you become a
I
Falcons
selected
fan,
Newcastle, Dave.
I know, and I chose Norwich.
I had friends rip me because I was following Newcastle when they got relegated and then got promoted again. And so, yeah.
Yes, but have you been relegated, promoted, and relegated again?
No, I have not experienced that.
You should try it sometime. By the way, we're out of the relegation from the championship, which was great. Anyway, the Falcons would be a good choice. I can see that. I can see Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I could even almost see Cleveland, but you got to be crazy to be a Cleveland fan. But my Broncos, I will always be a Bronco fan no matter what. I was raised there, and I was so excited. And listen, I'm sorry for you Buffalo people whining. You got maybe a bad call. I'm not convinced that it was a bad call. But the bottom line is you turned the ball over 5 times in a playoff game. And your all-star quarterback did 3 of them. So shut up. At that point, that's why you lost. It didn't have anything to do with the call. That said, this is the absolute least I have cared about an AFC championship game in a long time because we have no chance. None whatsoever. And I'm just, the only reason this game is even in Denver is because the Raiders beat the Patriots in week 1. If they hadn't done that, this game would be in New England, where there's 10 inches of snow.
One of the few games that the Raiders actually won.
Yeah. And that's back when everybody was talking about how bad New England was going to be and blah, blah, blah. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to watch it, but I'm going to watch it while I work on editing this because it's just not going to. Normally, for an AFC championship game, like the last time we went in 2015, I had the living room to myself because no one wants to be around me in a tense Bronco game. No one wants to be around me at all. But I think today will probably be okay because I just don't care. I mean, if we win, what do we win? A chance to go to the Super Bowl and get slaughtered there? Yay. And nobody expects us to win, including me. So, screw it.
And you bet on them?
I did, but only because I had to.
Yeah.
What did I say when I sent it to you? This is called betting with your heart, not with your head.
Yeah.
And I put $20 on the Broncos at minus 215 to win. I didn't even go to cover. I just said I'm gonna bet the win out.
Okay.
Because there's no point. If we lose, we're gonna lose by 30. So who cares? The other games.
And if they win, somehow you'll be excited because hey, you won a bet.
I'll win some money, and then I'll put 20 of that back down on the Super Bowl, which I know will be a loss. So, but I'm not planning on this because it's look, it is, as of right now, it's 9:18 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm telling you, we are not going to win. So,
Okay.
I've accepted this. It's like Serenity now. We're not going to win.
I'm just excited. Cricket's spinning back up, man.
Cricket is spinning back up. We're getting
And
ready
the commentators are hilarious.
so great.
Oh my
That
God.
parabola was about 12 meters. I love that. Yeah, the commentary is so good. You're not getting this crap from Tony Romo, I'll tell you.
Oh no.
But there you go. So you're heading out in February? When are you leaving?
Late February.
Late.
So
we got
I'm
time.
heading out. Yeah. I can record remotely again like we did last time. It's just a lower quality.
Yeah. like anybody would notice. Somebody told me the other day, oh, that hiss is back. I think it was Bill. Like, I'm not hearing it. Are you hearing it?
Mm-mm.
I mean, listeners, I don't care what Rod hears.
No, I hear it. I hear that.
Yes.
Yeah. WTF at
whatthefrock.org is the email address. So
or Facebook page.
Or the Facebook page, which we do have now, and we're just waiting for time to pass.
Yeah.
We got to be getting pretty close on that, right?
It's what, 90 days?
No, I set it up in December, so.
Is it 90
60
days?
So 60
days. Okay. Yeah.
So that's getting close, and we'll see how that goes, and just in time for Rod to be in Georgia.
Yeah.
When none of this mattered. But there you go. So those are the things that are happening. That's the small talk of the day. Does everybody feel better? Does everybody feel like, okay, we had any kind of conversation at all of any meaning or depth? Because if you do, then we did it wrong.
Yeah.
You should
We
feel
really
like,
don't want to know how you are.
right.
Don't
care.
don't
You don't care
tell
about
us,
me.
or we'll charge you E&M.
And on that note, I'm Rabbi Dave.
I am Friar Rod.
And this has been a very superficial episode of
What the Frock?
So grab your frock and come aboard. This nonsense can't be ignored. We joke, we gripe, we spin, we sing while Rome burns on. We do our thing. What the rock is going on here? We